Welcome to the Drexel interview. I'm Paula Morantz-Cohen, talking to you from Drexel's Westfall Gallery. Today our guest is Constantine Papadakis, president of Drexel University. President Papadakis, or Taki, as he's known to friends and colleagues alike, has done an extraordinary job since his arrival here in 1995. Under his leadership, Drexel has tripled freshman applications, doubled full-time enrollment, quadrupled university endowments, and quintupled research funding. He has helped spearhead new programs, including the acquisition of a medical school. These are impressive achievements, and they make our president one of the most successful and prominent leaders in the field of higher education today. President Papadakis, Taki, welcome to the Drexel interview.
Hi, Paula. I'm glad to be with you.
Drexel's a co-op school, and that gives it a unique profile. Could you talk a little bit about how cooperative education, working as well as being in the classroom, helps define Drexel uniquely in the Philadelphia, the regional, the national landscape for that matter?
I would say the national landscape, because co-op is such an incredible program. The fact that a student can work for 6 months with a company in the area of their academic training is remarkable. I mean, the concept works well. What I would say is that, and what I have experienced with co-op is that the students who work and come back from their first co-op assignment are completely different students than what anybody else would be in a 4-year regular university. Those students mean business now. They don't care necessarily for a degree. They don't study for a grade. They are mature. They actually want to learn so that they can get the job done. They realize that diplomas on the wall don't make it. It's what you know when you work in industry, and that's what will define your success in your career. So now we have a group of students who are demanding, who come to the classroom and they don't cheat, they don't spin their wheels. They are serious about their work. I mean, really, it defines a different kind of education. This system that was invented back in 1906 by Dean Snyder, the Dean of Engineering at the University of Cincinnati. And so today, now, you ask why, if that is such a great program, only 3 universities in the United States have it mandatory, in a mandatory form, right? Boston, Northeastern in Boston, Cincinnati in Ohio, and Drexel.
Right.
And I think that the answer to that is actually very simple. I have thought about it a lot because I'm curious, why don't I have any competition when I have such a great product?
Yeah.
And I believe that is the investment that the university would have to make to start a mandatory co-op program. So number one is the financial investment that is year after year dedicated to the success of this program. And number two, you also have a market that is already taken by the big 3.
Right.
And therefore you have to penetrate the market. And that's not easy. We have corporations that have hired our co-op students for 80 years now. So why would they change? And therefore, I think that it makes it very difficult for other universities, no matter how jealous they are, and no matter how envious they are of what we have to offer our students, that they cannot really do it. So what they do, instead they do summer internships and other things that are very different than co-op. Co-op provides the employer a full-time person continuously, because half of the class is working while the other half of the class is studying at Drexel. And then they flip-flop. The ones who were out working come back to school, and that's the other half of the class, right? So now you have, if you are an employer, you get 6 months of one student, and then another student takes his or her place for the next 6 months, and they interchange for maybe 3 years. 6 months, every one of them, right? So it's an incredible system. And
it's an incredible system, but it's complicated, as you say, so that's why it hasn't been imitated, perhaps. I would add, I mean, something that occurred to me, and I don't know if this is something we would want to market, but because there are 2 long-term co-ops at Drexel, it's often possible for a student to discover what he or she doesn't want to do. And as I say to some of my students, they have their midlife crisis very early.
We do market it, by the way. We actually tell the parents and the students when they come and interview here that this is an added attraction, because they can actually find out that they don't like a particular area of study, and they can switch if they are good students and they have the good grades. I believe that the best example of that is our former chairman of the board, George Ross. George went to the business school, and he went to accounting. After he got his first job, he actually did not like it. And if it was not for co-op, he would have graduated in 4 years, and then he would have gone to his first job, and he would have said, oh my God, what did I do? I don't like this. So instead, he switched at Drexel to finance, and then subsequently became a partner. The
rest is history.
Yes, of course. And he had such an illustrious career.
That's I didn't know that about Mr. Ross. You're an engineer by training, and you love technology, but you also, from what I hear, have a great love of culture and art and people. And this is the purview of the humanities. And I wonder what role you feel the humanities plays at Drexel University, what it plays now, perhaps, and what role you foresee it playing in the future.
When I first came to Drexel, earlier on I simplified things for our viewers, but it was much more complicated than that. One of the decisions that I had to make was, should I build up the sciences and the arts? And when you go to a university that is technological, the arts and sciences are there to service engineering, basically. And that was the case with Drexel years ago. Our decision in 1995 was move ahead and develop our own majors for the arts, the humanities, and also the sciences. So the sciences are not there to only serve engineering, but now they have physics and chemistry. They have their own majors, and they start doing their own research, and then you start getting a lot of activity in that arena. And the same happened with the arts and the humanities. We feel that a good university cannot be without it. We believe that Drexel markets itself, and it is very competitive when you compare it with liberal arts colleges. Why? Because we are actually trying to be the liberal arts technological university, right? So we can actually offer this kind of environment to a student, great choices for courses, regardless of where the student is, business or engineering, and now we are building a parallel path for other great opportunities for educating our students. So we did it by design. Right. We started by pushing forward a lot of new majors that would, what that means is that we wanted to have chemistry students or history students, and not only the engineering students taking chemistry, right? That's what I mean. Right. For our viewers that are not used to the academic lingo.
Right. And media arts, for example, is one of the fastest growing areas. And in
Yes.
fact, this program, this show that we're producing here,
Yes.
has a number of students from media arts who are involved. And it's really been a very exciting area of growth at the university. You have a heavy social schedule. I think that's an understatement. Because I don't know from what I hear, there's not an evening when you don't have some demands on your time, and that you or your wife shares with you. Does this ever take a toll on you? You seem like someone who doesn't get tired easily, but I would imagine that at some point it must take its toll. And I wonder what you do to relax, whether you have hobbies. How do you and your wife work out this very heavy social agenda?
Well, actually, I'm definitely grateful that I don't need much time to sleep.
How many hours sleep do you need?
Because I don't have it.
So what are we talking about here?
Well, actually, if I get 4 or 5 hours, it's great. And if I get 6 hours, is a major event. So, but again, it's a matter of my style. That's how I'm used to. When I was at school, I would just go through 1 or 2 nights without sleeping, just studying and working. Mm-hmm. And I would just go to the university and then go back to study. And I did that when I was a graduate student, and I did that when I was a dean, and I did that when I was president here. Mm-hmm. I would come in at 4 o'clock in the morning at my office at Drexel, and then at 6 o'clock I would surprise the cleaners, the cleaning crews. I would go and check them out and see what they are doing. And I'm
Energizer bunny. How's that?
So also it makes it easy for me to have my wife involved. Mm-hmm. Eliana, we have been married for 32 years now, and she has been always supportive. I remember when I was at the University of Michigan with her, we had a little efficiency apartment in the North Campus for married students. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how it was possible for her to have 120 people invited to join us in a celebration dinner. I mean, it was just incredible to when we think about it now. Mm-hmm. But today, Eliana actually accommodates the entertainment of about 1,500 people a year in our house. 1,500 people.
That's
for dinner.
Quite amazing.
For dinner.
For dinner.
In small groups.
Yeah.
Of maybe 20, around 20, so that we can interact.
And does she enjoy it?
We enjoy people.
Yeah.
Both of us, and that makes it easier.
Yeah.
Because we love to meet people. We love to touch base with our friends and see them again. I like to ask for money. So I'm a good fundraiser because I love to ask people to give us money and have reasons why they should give us money. Right?
Well, I just want to give a little personal anecdote relating to your love of people, because I live in New Jersey, and I was in a Cherry Hill jewelry store where, for Valentine's Day, my husband bought me these earrings, and the saleswoman said to me, "Oh, you teach at Drexel. President Papadakis I know him." Now, it turned out she was part Greek, but she was telling me that, she knew you and she felt that you were running yourself ragged. That was what she said. She was very concerned about you. But I thought it was funny that the saleswoman in the jewelry store in Cherry Hill seemed to know you, which means that you know quite a wide range of people. As we wind down in this interview, tell me what you think your greatest challenge has been during your tenure here.